What if you could seriously dominate Google search rankings with just one strategic move? I know it sounds a little too good to be true, but today we're going to break down an SEO strategy that can deliver some really impressive results. So let's just dive right in. So take a look at this number, 25%. I want you to just think for a second. What would a 25% boost in your website traffic actually mean for your business? We're talking more leads, more sales, more visibility, all from a single play. It's a pretty powerful idea, right? And yeah, that brings us to the big question for today. Can one single, perfectly placed guest post really spark that kind of growth? Well, according to the top SEO strategists and a ton of real-world results, the answer is a big, loud yes. Let's get into exactly how. All right, so what is this so-called secret weapon? Now, it's not some brand new technique, but when you do it with precision, its power is just completely unmatched. It's this, plain and simple, high authority guest posting. Now, this is not about just, spraying your name across any blog that'll take you. It's about being super strategic and placing your content on websites that Google already trusts and frankly respects a whole lot. And this gets to the very heart of why this whole thing works so well. You gotta think of every single link from a trusted site as a vote of confidence in Google's eyes. The more of these high-quality votes you get, the more authoritative your own website becomes. It's that simple. This slide just illustrates the difference perfectly. A link from some random low-authority site, that's like a whisper in a super crowded room. But a high-authority link, we're talking from a site with a domain authority or DA of 70 or more, that's a loud shout from a trusted industry leader. And you better believe Google hears that loud and clear. It can literally skyrocket your site's own rating. Okay, so earning these powerful shouts of approval sounds great. But how do you actually do it? Well, it's not luck. It's all about following a clear, repeatable blueprint. And this blueprint really just boils down to 3 core hacks. First, you have to target the right websites. Then, you've got to craft killer outreach emails to get their attention. And finally, you optimize your content to actually earn that precious backlink. Mastering these 3 steps is the whole game. Let's start with step 1. You have to be picky. You're hunting for websites that are not only heavy hitters with a DA of 70 plus, but are also super relevant to your specific niche. A link from an authority in your field is worth so much more than a random link from a site that has nothing to do with what you do. Okay, next up, outreach. You just can't send some generic copy-pasted email. I mean, think about it. The editors at these top sites get hundreds of pitches a day. Your email has to be personalized, it has to be professional. You need to prove you know their audience and can provide genuine value. That's why crafting a killer email is so critical. And finally, the content. It has to be absolutely exceptional. This isn't a sales pitch. It's about solving a real problem for their readers. When you create content that is genuinely useful and packed with value, that backlink to your site feels totally natural and earned, not like you just shoehorned it in there. Okay, so that's the blueprint. That's the theory. But what does it look like when you actually put it into practice? Let's check out the real, measurable results this strategy can dish out. And here it is. This is that 25% traffic boost we've been talking about, laid out plain as day. One single strategic guest post on a high-authority site can directly lead to a quarter more people visiting your website. That's a direct, tangible, and powerful impact. And hey, if you think 25% is impressive, get a load of this. A SaaS company used this exact strategy, and they boosted their traffic by an incredible 2,000%. No, that is not a typo. It just goes to show you the massive scaling potential when you really get this right. And this is so important to remember. These kinds of results, they don't come from magic or some shady trick. It's what this quote says right here. It's about the fundamentals. It's about relevance, quality content, and finding the right audience. That's it. All right, let's bring it all home. We're going to distill this down into the key takeaways that you can use to start dominating the search rankings for yourself. So, what are the big things to remember? First, always prioritize quality over quantity. Go for those DA 70 plus sites. Second, stick to the blueprint. Target, outreach, and optimize. Third, don't ever forget that these strategic connections are what really fuel your online visibility. And last but not least, track your results. You need to measure the impact to prove it works. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. If you have already tried guest posting, what were your results? And if you haven't, what's the first DA 70-plus site you'd love to be featured on? The path to dominating Google is actually pretty clear, and it all starts with making that one strategic connection.